Hello, YouTube. My name is Gog, and welcome back to the Hollywood Closet once again. Alright, guys, I got a question for you. Have you ever been like, dang it! Dang it! I need to make a unicorn horn yesterday for that big business meeting. Well, guys, you know what? You can just go ahead and stop having night terrors about that, because I'm going to show you guys how to make a really awesome unicorn horn design. Really easy. Probably only take you less than an hour. It is an easy thing, and we got everything in a big messy pile we're going to need over here. Haven't cleaned up the closet yet. I decided I'm just gonna let the mess accumulate a little bit, and that's gonna be kind of an ongoing study. Okay, so what we're gonna need to start with is some wire, and this, guys, is, let me just get a little bit of this stuff out of the way. Maybe I should have done this off camera. This stuff is 12 gauge wire. You can see in comparison, it is much beefier. This stuff is pretty beastly, and that is one of the reasons why you really need the compound is for this stuff. You need a lot of it, a lot of strength to deal with this stuff. So to start, we're just going to need a big long length. So let's just cut. We won't need more than this, and this is the way that I do this cutting. Is instead of just powering through it in one, because it's really strong, and you're just going to kill your wrist if you just keep doing that. I do it once, turn 90, and then go again, and it's kind of takes about half as much strength twice, so it's a little easier to handle. All right, once you got a piece here, kind of straighten it out. This is way longer than we needed. So the idea behind this is just to make this, and I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a unicorn horn. This one's going to be a unicorn horn because it's going to be white, but this could be any kind of horn. It's just really all we're doing is just going to make a spiral out of this wire here, and then we're just going to put some fabric on it. It's easy as that. It is really easy, and it really makes this shape wonderfully. So we're going to make a little nub here, and this stuff is, ooh man, it'll kill your wrist. So like, once we get it to about that, we can go in there and use our big like jagged teeth and just grip it, and we can just bring it in and then bring it closed. That's how you're going to do any of your closing on this, is with that part of your pliers, just because that's where you're going to get the most leverage, and it's just the easiest to work with. So there, that's going to be the end, the very tip. And then we just gotta start. You just start spiraling it out, and this stuff, it'll fight you, and you gotta you will develop kind of a rhythm here. You can see, you just kind of keep circling it through that. See, that's a little thick. Ooh, and once you get this stuff bent, you know, you're a little committed, because it is hard to bend back. So let's just continue that down, and you just do a spiral. Yeah, it's a little big there. Bring that in. Look at it head on. Yeah, it looks alright. And keep on down. So I got my videos up, and I knew it was going to happen, you know, using a song that I obviously don't own the rights to. It was flagged. I don't think it was just marked as third party, and I mean, it's not going to be a big deal because I don't think I'm going to end up monetizing any of that stuff. So, but I just want to have a word about what I think about copyright stuff, and I think it's absurd. I think it's really absurd to you know, think that you can own something that just doesn't exist, you know? I mean, it exists as data, as an idea. You just, if you can't, you know, take it and bury it in a treasure chest, you don't own it. That's kind of my my idea, and I feel like all that SOPA stuff is just kind of dinosaurs trying to stay alive, trying to adapt to this new place, which is the internet, which is basically kind of the biggest like social development that I think we as a species have had in a very, very long time. Right up there with agriculture. I believe, as a creative person and as a somebody that really is trying to make it in the creative world. I just think it's ridiculous, especially when it comes to producing videos, TV, movies, particularly music. I just think it's absurd to spend millions and millions of dollars to make something like that. Would you spend like $1 million on a donut and then just go, put it, in the middle of a police station? It's like, no, you would never do that. It's ridiculous, and it's absurd for me that people are spending that kind of money, and I think it's just vulgar to be spending that kind of money on something that you and me and everybody is capable of doing, which is creating, making things, being creative, expressing themselves. So I don't feel bad about using music, even though I'm sure the music that I use, I'm fairly certain that the people who made the music probably wouldn't be at my throat. They probably wouldn't really care. And I think that's probably the kind of music I'm going to continue using. I'm probably not going to be using any Metallica or anything, because I kind of hate Metallica a lot. And so back on form here. So there we go. We're kind of moving down. Just a very spiral. It doesn't have to be. I mean, it can be as congruent and consistent as you want. I'm kind of just blabbing here, so we're gonna keep going down. Okay. Yeah, we'll go a little bit, a couple more inches. But I don't think I'm going to be hearing anything else about the flagging. I think that was just YouTube telling me that it recognized it, and like that's fine. Probably never monetize things. If anybody was interested in supporting me, they could just buy something from me. I'll make you whatever you want. Absolutely. All right. A little bit longer. Maybe we want to. Let's make this pretty big, just because we can. And you just see you're just an easy spiral, and you can see on there where all my dug in there, and that's can be kind of a problem because it creates these little sharper points that might cut on your fabric, but I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue the way that we do this. So I'll just tell you guys, I just implore you, as viewers, and just stop supporting commercial media. It's really just doing nothing but trying to control, all of our creative culture. And this is our creative culture. They don't own it. What if, 100 years ago, Mozart or Beethoven or those guys says, nope, this is my music. I am never doing anything with it but locking it up in a safe. Think of where we would be now. That's what these corporations are trying to do. And it's terrible. So we have the power, though, to just stop it. Just don't engage in it. Don't watch TV. Watch YouTube. Seriously, there are so many people willing to give you great media for free. Just absolutely free, and it's just so honest. And it's not trying to sell you something, It's not trying to get into your head and, observe your spending habits or things like that. They just want you to be entertained. And then we're going to end that here. That's about good. That's a good length there. Alright, soapbox off. I probably won't do that a whole lot. I'm not a terribly passionate person when it comes to things. Except when, I get really upset at the kind of the monetization of creativity and what kind of the implications that has for us. Okay. So this is a tricky part here. Trying to end this, I think we'll just sometimes you can just this wire is so like beefy that it I don't think I'll even need to hook it. I will just cut it and then it'll get. I'll sew it in nice and tight when we get to sewing. So cut it once, rotate, kind of get back at it. Then you can even just kind of twist it off. Because it is beefy stuff and you will hurt your arms, hurt your wrist if you work on this stuff too long. Ooh! See, when you get little pieces like that, it is tricky. So then you just kind of take it, twist it up in there. And there we are. That's half the battle right there. Got some high spots, but it'll get nice evened out. Yeah, it looks alright. Looks pretty good. Next, we do our fabric. I've got so much freaking white. I don't know what to do with it. I got way too much white. Okay. Where's the good end here? And, you know, as you can see, it's kind of a robish thing. It was a Halloween costume. Right here's fine. Let's see what's. Oh yeah, this stuff isn't 4-way stretch either. It's only 2-way, but that's okay. We're not going to be stretching it real far 4 ways. I bet I have some good stuff out in my stores, but I need to use this stuff up. So then we cut a piece that can't be much bigger than this. This is going to be more than enough. Needs to be how long here? Let's just do a quick measurement. About there. Let's just quick and dirty. Okay, and then you can get out of here. And we're going to need our magnets. Our maggies. Okay. Then we just put our stuff down. Let's get our spiral ready. And let's just start clipping this stuff on here. And so this one's going to be a little tricky. We're not going to be sewing with the wire in this. We're going to be sewing free of the wire, I guess you can put it. Or we're just going to be cutting it down the middle, you know, and then sewing it together. Not around anything. So it's a little trickier. Let's get this out of here. It's a little, just gotta be a little more precise with your stuff here. So let's get that there. You want to keep pulling it tight. You gotta kind of walk it down. You want to do one side. You want to do one side just straight. Put it on there so it's nice and straight, and you want to just kind of magnet on onto every one of your passes here as you're going. It's a little delicate. It's a little trickier. And this is something that's pretty new. I usually sew onto the wire as we did in our ant mask mostly. And this is a new technique that I am not sure what I'm going to be doing with this. I might be using it in the new hammer, and that way I don't have to have every junction, every line defined with that black yarn. I can instead just have it go from section to section. But that's it'll be tricky. It's offering some challenges, and I'm excited for that. So just keep magneting on down. This takes lots of magnets just to kind of get it set up. Once you actually get things cut, it's pretty easy. You don't need as many. You just want to keep them in a straightish line. I guess this isn't it's not quite right. You go over here a little bit. Yeah, it's good enough. Let me kind of re-pull at the end here because you kind of tightened it up a little bit. There. And on the end. Then I think we want to cut. We want to cut this line down just so it makes it a little easier when we come pulling and we can see right where we're falling. I hope this is getting in frame. It's tricky trying to get things in frames, and I should just be continually apologizing because it happens. Things just happen. It'll just take me more practice. And it tends to happen when I'm sitting like this, when I'm working really low in my lap. And let's just cut the end off here. Okay, and now we're going to start pulling it. Let's kind of get this pulled in a little. Let's get this reined in a little here. That's a little crazy. Okay. This is very delicate work here. Ooh, come on, gimme. There we go. Tricky part is getting the magnets to not snap together. Oh, you son of a biscuit. You let go. Let's just do this. Let's just kind of pull over the magnet, and then we know that we'll just cut those tabs out. Because this way we got a nice strong pull, and we're getting our nice definition on this side right here. We want to make sure that we're pulling it further past this little holy part, which is kind of the end of the bolt. So we make sure to cut that out because we don't want that in our stuff here. Yeah, that's working good. Done this a couple times. I've made a couple of these. It's a really quick project. And I really kind of did a series of horns, just kind of exploring, because this is a really great way to make horns. And I made some really, I had a lot of fun making like a pair of sort of elk horns, like pronged horns, and that was a lot of fun and really challenging. And I'll probably go back to that at some point. I definitely would love to make like a moose head, like to put on your wall, but not have to like actually have a moose be killed. But that's something. I would love a chance to make a pair of moose horns, like a big giant thing, because that would be a lot of fun. I made like curled ram horns. That was really hard. Trying to mirror something in 3 dimensions is very difficult, and it was a lot of fun. I might try to do that on camera again. Okay, that worked well. So you can see we got a little line there. It's alright, that's good. You don't have too much there. But that was a pretty good looking horn, I think. Let me just cut off our other piece here. Okay, so we want to start cutting right about here. Keep it nice and straight as we can. And we start sewing, we might see there's quite a bit of overhang there. As you can see, there's about 1/4 of an inch. So when we start sewing, we'll probably just sew and then cut that out as we go. And this one's a little high. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut out some stuff. That's okay though. Yeah, the end's going to be a little messy. We'll have to work with that. That's okay. Alright, that's that. This might be nice if this was tightened up. I think we will be tightening up when we start sewing here. And so, we're just going to use my little meager sewing kit here. Oh, my foot's asleep. Okay, where's my stuff on this side? I don't really have any white string right now, so I'll just use this blue. It's pretty close. Yeah, you want to get like roughly your arm's length there. And what needle? This guy here is what I was using for this size string. Oop, where'd it go? I lost it. That's what magnets are good for. There it is. Yeah. Oh, it's getting crowded in here. Alright, let's cut this off. And now we actually do have to thread. We can't cheat thread this like the big fat stuff. This is a little trickier. And since we're using this little stuff, we do tie a knot. We tie this off just so I don't have to rethread this stupid stuff all the time. And since it's a much finer thread, you don't really have to worry about pulling through the knit as much. I just like to do one knot. I guess I could probably do two. That 2 knots of this stuff is definitely less than the diameter of the needle, so that should be fine. Yeah, I guess I'll show you how I do my little knots. I guess I haven't really done this yet. So I take one end, kind of take the short end in my left hand, but for you guys it's mirrored for some reason. And I loop it over, take the big end, come around front short end, take your short end, pull it forward, grab it in your fingers, and you can kind of take it and pull, and then just pass it on through, bring it on down. That is how I tie my knots. Okay, so we're going to start sewing this. It looks like the base is pretty good here. So let's just get ourselves started. And we're going to be going over this stuff down here at the end and some thick fuzzy stuff. What I've done a couple of these, and a couple of times I've put them on headbands. They go really nice on a headband. So I don't know if we'll do that or not. I might just leave it a horn. Okay. And just get that tied in there. Doesn't really matter. It can be messy. It's going to get sewed up somehow anyway, so. But usually want to double it up, double knot things. Yeah, take off the extra. Oh, I saw a paw peeking from the door. Come on, Goey. Hey! Come here. Okay, whatever. She doesn't want to cooperate. Alright, let's just start this. Start kind of going around the base here, just so we can get it nice and grabbed. Oh, we picked up. God, how did you get in there? Red string, you jerk. Okay. So now that's on. I kind of want to keep a magnet here, right here, so that we keep the integrity of this line here. Okay, so this stuff is the stuff that needs to be shortened. Let's get that out of my mouth. Let's put another one here. This is some delicate stuff here. A little delicate. So let's just take it out in like sections. Think. You want this, you want to be able to control the tension here very carefully. Ooh, that's a little too much. Shoot. It'll be okay. You want to make sure you're cutting nice and straight. Oop, sorry, bumped the mic. Okay, that'll be good. Okay. Now let's get a... Ooh, it's gonna be tight. That's okay. It's okay, I always say that. Okay, let's get a bite here. So let's go through one side, and actually, let's go through both sides around the wire like that. And this is some not very nice string too. When I'm doing this, I like to get this really nice waxed thread. It's really nice for hand. It's waxed thread for hand sewing. But it works really wonderfully. But this will be okay. Alright, that's on there. Yeah, we just gotta go back, start here. Oh, and you know what? I did something wrong, guys. Crap, I just realized that. Or maybe I actually no, I did it wrong. So that we're actually right now sewing on the inside of it. This is going to be that we're going to turn this inside out when we actually put it on. So we're going to have the knit backwards, but it's not a big deal. Just keep on sewing. When you get up to a magnet, oh, we just dropped our needle. Take your magnet down. So how far up did we cut? Yeah, that'll be good. So we can sew up to about here, and then cut the next section out, just so we can get it nice and tight right where we want it. Okay. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about the music. If I'm going to keep using music, or maybe I was thinking I would, you know, fast forward, and then when I would record like some post commentary during the fast forwarding parts. Maybe that was a thought. I really like music. I really wish I could just play all the music I wanted, because I think I've got pretty interesting taste in music. I listen to lots of different kinds of music. And I would love to be able to share that with people, but you know, the freaking creative control CEOs don't want to let me, because they're jerks, and they just want to keep being rich. Okay, so we're going to cut out this section here. I'm going to make sure to not nick my string, and that's really annoying. And let's just go up to about there. That'll give us a long ways to sew. So yeah, that's kind of how you want to fine tune this, because it's kind of tricky. If you, what is this? What is underneath here? There's something in. We'll get it when we turn it inside out. Okay, guys, I think we've got that covered. I think I will be fast forwarding this, and it might be kind of a long one. This is a big long stitch here. See you guys in a minute. Actually, guys, wait. Sorry. This friggin' stuff always happens with this cheap thread. You're just going to catch knots like this. I really don't know how it happens. I don't really pay attention, but if you just kind of grab the end and just pull it, and you just pull it real short, you can usually just pull them out. Or at least just, yeah, see that one just pulled out. That really nice threaded wax thread does not knot at all. I don't know how it does it. I think it's magic. It's some awesome stuff, guys. Alright, I will see you in a second here when we are all finished sewing on this. Alright, so a little ways to go here. And it's getting a little hard to handle, trying to grip it and hold it. So sometimes you'll just kind of need to like leverage it somehow. And we're just going to magnet it on to some stuff here. There we go. Now we can kind of set it right the way that we want it. Like so. Okay, so this is a good time. We need to switch out our string. So I'll show you guys how I finish up these knots when you got this little string like this. Go in, roughly where we were. Try to come out right where the string is. Take it, wrap it around the end twice. Push on through, and it'll just ratchet closed. Nice and tight. And you just do that a couple times. Go through, wrap around. Just pull on through. That's not going nowhere. Alright guys, back to sewing. Alright, we are getting close to the end here. So now things are starting to get a little tricky. We want to kind of come back in here and make sure we get this just like that. Okay. Then let's cut this jerk here. Oh, it's hard to get at him. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, that's pretty quick though. That took about, I don't know, 25 minutes? 25-ish minutes? Almost finished here. This thread should take us on through to the end. Oh, shoot. I might have made a mistake. No, maybe not. We'll see. I might have screwed this whole thing up. Maybe. Maybe. Crap. We'll see here in a second. Oh, you jerk. Just finish. Just finish the stitch, man. Now you're freaking out about the mistake you maybe made. So the mistake I think I might have made was sewing the wire into the into the stitch here. So sewing it onto the wire, which is not something that I want to do right now. Because we're going to be pulling it out and trying to turn it inside out. So well, that wouldn't work if we had sewed it in. Okay. Let's just finish this last stitch off of it. Let's see if we can just twist it out. That should have always worked. Okay, yeah, this will be interesting. Always an adventure, right? No, not sewn in. Not sewn in. Okay, so I don't think I did it. I think we're fine. You just got to... Actually, we should have just done this. Oh, we did do it down here. Dang it. That's okay. We'll just cut that out. Yeah, that's not a problem. Yeah, we should just be able to pull this guy off. Screw this twisting. Oh, I hung up a little bit. Come on. Come on, buddy. Here we go. Alright, now let's sew this end up. Oop. Let's just finish this off here. Nope. Get in the right spot. Okay. There. Sewn up. One more for good measure. Then let's end this. Let's end this now. With a knot. And again. Okay, that's that. That's all the sewing. Well, a little bit more sewing, but that's all the sewing with that little dinky stuff. Well, there you go. Now he's got to turn it inside out, and you guys want to see a fun way to turn it inside out? You would take your magnets, your Maggies, and you just go like this. You drop one down in there, one there, and that's it. You just kind of go like this, grab the end, make sure you're going. There you go. Get out of here. That's it. That's the easy way to do it inside out. Oop, dang it. Get out of there, magnet. There you go. Now we just gotta get this back on this bad boy. That's a pretty obnoxious. I could do that a lot better. I was pretty sloppy. We're just trying to do it quick for you guys so you don't have to sit there and wait too long. Yeah, this is tricky. Trying to get everything back on here. Sometimes you want to make it bigger, but I didn't really want to do that. It's just... Oh, yeah, we're doing nice. Yeah. And I think we had that line about like that. Yeah, and obviously you're not going to be using a blue string if you really want it to be nice. This is quick and dirty. Okay, we're hung up a little bit here. Alright, that's that. And then let's finish it off. Last thing we do. Let's just not worry about that. This is where you would, you'd be attaching it to whatever you wanted to put it on, a headband or whatever. I'm just going to finish it off with some of this white stuff that I got here. Don't have very much of it. It's just kind of strewn about in scraps. But we're just going to sew this down like that. And we'll just start it by, we need to get this sewn back together because these guys came apart a little bit because we had to cut them free. Yeah, and this knit fights ya. It's tight. So there, grab your end. Let's actually go again for good measure. There, that should be in there nice. Yeah, in the right spot. And just pull it tight. Come on up here, grab. Ooh, that's broke the knit. Dang it. Let's go through that big gaping hole we just made. We can sew that in a little bit. Yeah, this white is not the best thing in the world because it likes to break. Not as... anytime you're using the two-way stretch, it's going to fight you a lot more than the four-way stretch will. So let's just get this stuff out. Alright guys, and that's it. That is a unicorn horn. You can finally tell your boss, get off your back. He's all like, I need a unicorn horn on my desk by 5 o'clock, Johnson. He could be like, damn! There you go, boss. That is one baller-ass unicorn horn. And it could be a narwhal horn, any kind of horn. You know, you can give it a little curve. And it could be like those like curvy horned antelope things. But there you go, guys. My name is Gog. This is a unicorn horn. Thanks for watching. See you later.